History, Memorials and Historic Buildings by Margaret McNamara.
Memorials and Historic Buildings by Margaret McNamara. Table of Contents. Words to Think About, page 2. Introduction, page 4. Chapter 1, Memorials to Presidents, page 6. Chapter 2, Memorials to Brave Citizens, page 10. Chapter 3, Historic Buildings, page 12. Conclusion, page 14. Glossary and Index, page 16. Words to Think About. Citizens.
Some buildings and statues honor great citizens.
Congress.
Congress has senators and representatives from each state.
Historic.
The Betsy Ross House is a historic building.
Memorial.
This memorial honors Benjamin Franklin.
Minutemen.
Minutemen were soldiers in the American Revolution.
President.
Abraham Lincoln was an American president.
Introduction.
A memorial helps us remember the past. A memorial is a building or structure that honors important people and events. A historic building is notable and important. A historic building helps us learn about our country's past.
The Gateway Arch in St. Louis, Missouri, is a memorial to pioneers who traveled west. Independence Hall is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Declaration of Independence was signed here about 250 years ago. Chapter 1, Memorials to Presidents.
Mount Rushmore is a memorial to honor 4 presidents or leaders of the United States. Workers carved the faces of the presidents into the side of the mountain. Each face is about 18 meters or 60 feet long.
Mount Rushmore is in South Dakota. 1. George Washington. 2. Thomas Jefferson. 3. Theodore Roosevelt. 4. Abraham Lincoln.
These presidents also have memorials in Washington, D.C. George Washington was the first president. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. Abraham Lincoln freed many enslaved people and kept the country united. Theodore Roosevelt helped to preserve our nation's parks and forests.
Washington Monument. Jefferson Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial holds a large statue of Abraham Lincoln. Park Memorial. Theodore Roosevelt has a memorial island in Washington, D.C. Chapter 2, Memorials to Brave Citizens.
The Minutemen fought during the American Revolutionary War. These citizens were ready to fight the British in a minute. A statue honors these soldiers. More than 150 years ago, brave men fought and died at the Alamo. The men fought for the independence or freedom of Texas. A statue honors these men.
The Minuteman statue is in Lexington, Massachusetts. The Alamo Monument and the Alamo Mission are in San Antonio, Texas. Look at text structure. Description. The sentence, "These citizens were ready to fight the British in a minute," describes the Minutemen. What other sentence describes the Minutemen? Chapter 3, Historic Buildings.
The United States Capitol is a historic building in Washington, D.C. The members of Congress work here. They make the laws or rules for our country. The White House is the home of the President of the United States. The president also works here. Both of these buildings are more than 200 years old.
Congress has senators and representatives from each state. They work in the Capitol building. The address of the White House is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. Statue of Sacagawea. A statue of Sacagawea, the Native American guide and interpreter, stands in the Capitol building. Conclusion.
Memorials honor special people from the past. Some memorials honor presidents. Other memorials honor brave citizens. Historic buildings are old, important buildings. These buildings help us learn about our country's past.
Memorials to presidents. Washington Monument. Lincoln Memorial. Memorials to brave citizens. Sacagawea Statue. Historic buildings. The U.S. Capitol. The White House. Glossary. Citizens. People who live and work in and contribute to a country. See page 10. Congress. The senators and representatives who make laws for our country. See page 12. Historic. Having great and lasting importance. See page 5. Memorial. A building or structure honoring a person or event. See page 4. Minutemen. Citizens who fought in the American Revolution. See page 10. President. Leader of a country. See page 6.